What's going on, everybody? Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide, your host of Lake Fork Rundowns. It is Thursday the 16th. Actually off today with, once again, big storms coming through the north, really coming all across Dallas, Metroplex, Northeast Texas. And yet again, another pummeling from Mother Nature is underway. Here's the good thing, the good news about it. We literally have gone from 403.51, 403.45, 54 back. I mean, we're still roller coaster, still doing the two-step, okay? The positive is that, number one, the fish are pretty much done spawning. A lot of the shallow fish are definitely affected by the gates being open. There's one gate right now, and the water falling. But there's so many fish now that have moved offshore into structure, into deeper water, into different types of locations rather than the shallow cover. Those fish are less affected. And we're still catching those fish now. It's not as bad as when everything wanted to be shallow. When all the fish wanted to migrate into the shallow waters, when the fish wanted to move into the shallow waters to spawn, and the lake would rise, they'd move in. And they'd start to try and nest or find locations, and then the water would start to drop with the gates. And that was really fouling us up for about 6 weeks. We're kind of past that. You will notice there are still lots of shallow fish. There's still shad spawning. So when the water's falling, those shallow water fish are still goofed up. And I'll give you an example, like the shad spawn, the topwater frog bites, swim jig bites. Those shallow bites that we've been, are still very much there when the lake is stable or rising. When the water's falling from the gates, those bites do get tough. Few and far between. But again, moving to the deeper side of it, and we'll talk about that when we give you a few tips here in a minute. It's a lot better, okay? 75, 78 seems to be the common temperature through the week. Remember that the brim spawn generally starts happening around 78, 82 degrees is when brim spawns, say the biologist. 76 degrees, you start seeing them stage, start digging their nest just like bass do. So you're starting to look for that now. A lot of brim spawn starting to happen. And with next week, it looks like some clear weather, some hot weather, 70s and 90s. There's no doubt the brim spawn will be underway, which is normal for May. We're normally already there. A little postponed, a little behind this year because of the floods. Clarity's pretty good. Might change depending on how much rain we get today. And then again, we're right back at 403.51 where we were last week. Can't do much about that. And you might hear the rumble right there. I don't know if you can hear it. This is a soundproofed eco-environment studio. But every now and then, thunder's loud enough to hear through. Anyway, so the bites. If you're shallow, you're looking for shad spawn in the morning top waters. If you're around vegetation, those top waters should be weedless. If you're on the main lake and stuff, there are some really cool top water bites happening right now in the right place. Big fish too. Post-spawn females gorging on big shad. And in these boxes right here, I've got 3 different new topwater baits that were just delivered to me the other day that I will be sharing with the members only. Little teaser, if you're not a member, you should be a member. Remember, the members only channel, we give a lot more detailed information and specifically locations. And 6 other guides cover all of Northeast Texas and Dallas. We cover Roy Hubbard, we cover Lavon, Possum Kingdom, Palestine, O.H. Ivy, Bodark, Athens, and more. So in the members channel, more information. Just going to throw that back out there as I always do. It's real simple. Look in the description below the video, click on the members link, and subscribe. However, I want to make sure that I still give you guys some decent information publicly. So again, if you're shallow, running the swim jigs and top waters and stuff like that, swim jigs need to be as weedless as possible. Top waters need to be as weedless as possible. Like frogs, in the junk. Definitely in the junk. With the water falling, that bait goes away. So I move offshore. I just forget that shallow water stuff. I'm not a shallow water specialist. I prefer the offshore stuff. And that's where we're going to get into the big worms, the shaky heads, Texas rig worms and creature baits, Carolina rigs. I'm going to give you a bonus here, a freebie, just to kind of give you a taste of what members get too. Specifically on a lot of main lake points and secondary points, if you will Carolina rig, something like the Berkeley power bait here is a flat-nosed shad. It's called, I believe it's called a flat-nosed minnow. Watermelon, red when the sun's shining, or green pumpkin when it's not. Dip the tail chartreuse always. And here's the deal with that Carolina rig, don't drag it. Snap it. Make that minnow dart and fall. The longer leader you can have, the better. 4 or 5 foot leader, okay? 5 foot if you can really stand throwing it. 5 feet, 1 ounce weight, and when you snap it up. So objectively what's happening is the weight comes up, drags the shad up off the bottom, the weight goes down, and now the shad has to fall like a dying shad. So if you snap it, pop, pop, it goes pow, pow, and then it free falls to the bottom. There's really a 3-stage process I do with that. Just like you were fishing a weightless fluke all by itself, forget the Carolina rig part. The Carolina rig part's the carousel to throw it, or fish it in deep water. If you're fishing a weightless flat-nosed minnow all by itself with just a hook, you cast it with a light spinning rod, which we don't want to do on fork, light line. You let it sink and you twitch, twitch. You let it sink and you twitch, twitch. But there's a moment in there that you should be kind of checking the bait. Because it's on loose line, like a wacky worm, you don't always feel the bite. So I call it checking it or sliding it. So I take the bait and I throw it up in there, I let it sink, and I slide just enough. I check where is it, there it is, twitch, twitch. Pause, look for the bait, there it is, no fish there, twitch, twitch. Same thing with the Carolina rig. Throw that Carolina rig wherever it is, shallow, deep, whatever you're doing with it. Remember, points are best right now. Slide it to see if the fish is there. A lot of times you will not feel them take that on the fall. They take the flat-nosed minnow on the fall. So when you start to pull and slide it, all of a sudden you'll feel the weight of the fish tugging or swimming with you. You slide, no fish is there, crack it twice to draw it up off the bottom and make that action. And then pause. 3 steps. Crack it, pause, check it. Remember that. You'll catch a lot more fish. That right now for the next 3 months, done in the right place, is a very consistent bite on fork, especially around brush piles. Right now, the fish are at a specific depth. You need to know that depth to catch more fish, but you can search that out and figure it out, or you can subscribe to Members Only, and I'll tell you exactly what depth that is. But that changes throughout the season. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, all of June, by July, they're in different places. And then when we get the thermocline built in, they do some other things that are strange as well. But that's a real good tip for you. Flat-nosed minnow, watermelon red, or green pumpkin, dip the tail chartreuse. When it comes to the dips, I actually don't use, I don't use the dips anymore. I actually use the pins. I have learned that the dips, number one, you can spill them. They're tricky. When you're on your boat, you got to take the cap off. You got to put the cap somewhere. You got to hang over the boat to dip it. If you spill it, you stain, you ruin fiberglass, you ruin carpet, you get it on your fingers. The pins, the spike it pins work perfect. And the other thing that doesn't happen, if you take care of these pins and keep them closed, they don't change color. Like the bottle of liquid will actually turn brown. It doesn't dip as well, dye as well. The pins are cheaper. Like this pack right here, you get 4 pins for the price of 1 bottle of Spike It. And you get 4 different colors. So the pins, you can be more specific. This is the way to go. Use the Spike It pin, and you'll appreciate that. Another bite offshore. If you're willing to lose some money, you want to throw a little money at fork, crankbaits. It's the perfect time to get out there and start cranking. But the trouble with the deep diving treble hooks and heavy cover, and worse than the heavy cover, the amount of fishing line that's down there, is you will give crankbaits to the lake fork structure and trees. You will lose them. But that's a great way to go. The 6XD and the 10XD. Blueback chartreuse is a really, really popular color this time of year. I'm giving you guys up some really good juice right there. That should be in the Members Only channel. The 10XD or the 6XD in the blueback chartreuse for the next 6 weeks, used in the right location, can absolutely be money in the bank on Lake Fork. Just look what Lee Livesey did 2 years ago, winning the elites by cranking in the month of May. And third week of May, he was cranking and putting 25 to 30 pounds a day in the boat, mostly cranking. A few hair jig fish and miscellaneous scraps, let's call it. But his work was done with the big crankbaits. I don't recommend the 6 cents for a lot of reasons now, and I will say it publicly. I feel that their product has gone downhill. I think that the price point, what you're paying for a premium product, now coming out of China, it's just not there. When they first came out, they were made here in the U.S. and the product was very, very suitable for its price point. It was just a notch below Lucky Craft. Lucky Craft is in Japan. Japan is way higher in technology and ahead of us in advanced technology. The product you get when you buy Lucky Craft is true to the bone. I mean, it's the real deal. Today, I just tend to go to the Berkley or Strike King, especially on stuff you're going to give a lot of this to for. The Strike King 10XD is so popular. In fact, Keith Combs back in 2014 weighed 110 pounds in 3 days, not 4. Not a 4-day event, but he won the Century Belt in the what they call the Texas Toyota Bass Classics 2014. They only did 3 days here back then. If Keith Combs would have had a 4th day, he would have been over 140 pounds, 145. He was averaging 35 pounds a day at 110 pounds for 3 days. He was running the 10XD. This right here is Money in the Bank in May. That tournament was May 14th, I believe, the middle of May in 2014. Might have been the end of May, but you get where I'm going. I'm sharing some juice right here. Now, the locations you throw it are important, and I won't share that here privately or publicly. If you want to know where to throw this bait, the best key locations throughout the lake, both east side, west side, you got to subscribe to the members only channel. All right. I think that's all I have, besides giving a big shout out to Texas Insider Fishing Report, televised every single week, Bally Sports, and the old Box.net, I think it was. Let me make sure that I get that right. Texas Insider Fishing Report. Each week we film on Tuesday nights, and then the show airs. Where did I save that? Oh, I saved it. Apparently I didn't. I know it airs on Bally Sports, but just Google it, Texas Insider Fishing Report. Here's the cool thing about Texas Insider Fishing Report. We cover, first of all, we got world famous Captain Rick Murphy. We have Miss Florida, Bree Gabrielle. And then we got Dave Farrell, Dave's Corner. So you learn a lot from this whole process, besides the fact that there are 6 guides that cover 3 coastal regions, the upper, lower, and middle of the coast, ocean fishing, and then 3 intercoastal, lower, middle, and upper fresh. We cover the entire state of Texas. And man, I mean, the goods in that channel are phenomenal. You got Matt Reed down south. So many great guides involved in that. Texas Insider Fishing Report is also connected with the Florida Insider Fishing Report. Florida Insider Fishing Report's been around for 20-something years. Texas Insider Fishing Report is 5 years old, 6 years old now. But it's an awesome channel. It's very entertaining. You learn a lot, and you can get more information as well there by watching that show. And they support us. Texas Insider Fishing Report. I'm one of the captains. Grateful to be part of that. J. Hodge Chevrolet. If you're looking to get a new vehicle or you just need service or maintenance, go check out J. Hodge Chevrolet in Sulphur Springs. Tell them McFarland sent you. The rest of the sponsors, big shout out to all of them. There's so many of them. Today we're pushing over 30-something sponsors. We've got a new banner that's being printed as we speak. We've got everything from Skeeter Bass Boats and Yamaha Engines, Diamond Sports Marine, Abu Garcia, Berkley, Power Pole, Bajío Sunglasses, Bass Assassin. I'm going to back up. The Bajío Sunglasses are just incredible. They're some of the best glasses that I've ever used. Bass Assassin baits, I never realized that Bass Assassin has an entire catalog. They've got walleye baits. They've got saltwater assassin, Bass Assassin, panfish assassin. They're associated with Bang lures. This catalog, when I got it, blew my mind at how much more Bass Assassin had than just Bass Assassin. Tight Lines UV, Lake Fork Trophy lures, Impact lures, Real Time Rods, Magic Reaction, Go Fish lures, Steve's Custom Prop Shop, Lake Fork Marina Motel, the original Rod Socks Sign Shop, Burning Stump Lodge, Lake Fork Resort, and Tackle Shop. Tackle Shop there is awesome. Go see those guys up there. Go see Mike. Murphy's Law Sport Fishing out of Florida. You want to do an incredible experience. Go fish with world famous Captain Rick Murphy and Murphy's Law Sport Fishing. Jamie's Restaurant, Oh My the Pie. Don't ever eat dinner there and not have pie. Really, even lunch, have some pie. Cactus Creek Outdoors, Tackle Co-op, Jamie's Jacked Up Design, Lucas Oil, and always and forever Protect the Harvest. All of those companies, a big shout out to, big support for us. We're so grateful to be a part of that. If you like this, hit the like button. If you have any comments, please comment below. If you have a question, put it in the comments below. If you don't want the public to see your question, maybe you have a question you want to ask and you want to keep it private, 602-826-1524. Text message me. Even feel free to call me. One more thing I'm going to give to you publicly that I don't usually do. For the month of June, I'm going to offer you a special. If you want to fish with me in the month of June, you want to go learn how to find shell beds, you want to go learn how to use your sonar in deep structure, side scan, down scan, offshore live scoping. You want to understand the fundamentals of using football jigs, shaky heads, big worms, finding the right situation to be utilizing those baits in the best productive areas. Book a trip with me for the month of June, all right? And I will offer you a $50 discount on a half-day trip and a $100 discount on a full-day trip. Full days are $600. For you, they'll now be $500. That's one or two people. Half days are $450. They'll now be $400. The key here is you need to mention, I watched the public video. Please give me my discount. Okay? If you're interested in fishing, book now. They won't last long. There's quite a few openings in June right now. But anyways, I want to throw that out to you, to the public. If you're interested in fishing with me, you really thought all these times, man, I'd love to go fishing with him, take advantage of that. $100 discount on a full day, $50 discount on a half day. Love to have you. All right? I guess that's it. Tuesday, we gave you some crappie fishing reports from Jackie Wiggins. Just go back and see that's the same. Nothing's changed there. Jackie Wiggins is an incredible guide here on Fork. Always catching crappie, always filling the limits. And some catfishing that he does too as well. Check that out if you need to go back and watch for the crappie and catfish. It's in Tuesday's report from a couple days ago. Other than that, I wish you all great fishing, and I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. God bless.